You're listening to the Gag On This podcast.
I see you standing up and I want to knock you down.
Are we ready, guys?
We're ready.
I was about to say that was fucking silent. Come on, guys. let's get amped. This is the Gag On This podcast. Episode description. We'll have the show and guest social media. Subscribe to our YouTube page. You can watch us all and hear the episode 2 days before it is released. Like and follow us on all social media. I am Big Nick. I'm joined by my Portuguese lover, co-host of the Stand Up Dads, Rob.
What's up?
We got the Italian stallion, nationally traveling comedian, Danny D.
Hey, hey.
And we have the hilarious and the toughest guy out there, Stephan goddamn Bonnar.
Woohoo!
Woo!
All right. Woo.
Boy, that was a welcome. All right, so let's kick it off with, I got a question for you. And I've heard you talk about this a little bit, but
that was the intro?
Yeah, that was your intro today?
What do you want? What else do you want it to be?
Fuck, the guy's got a whole story-ish. Never mind.
Well, the questions talk about the story. You know, okay. Fuck it. All right, it's your podcast. Go.
No, go.
I'm done.
The guy that could have... never mind. Go ahead.
All right, so, Stephan, we're usually better than this. I fucking swear. But no, you talked about it a little bit. I want to know what it feels like to have your fight be called the most important fight in UFC history.
I was all right with the introduction, honestly.
Thank you.
It wasn't even an issue. I didn't even think about it. But, you know, it's not a bad thing to be famous for. I mean, things could be worse, you know. I could be famous for like a DUI that made TMZ or something terrible like that. Thank God it's for that fight that saved the UFC.
I just got to say thank you for bringing it up.
Yeah, the elephant in the room, I punched that fucker.
We got Danny D prepping over here.
Danny could attest, I've been on the wagon for a while now, and I'm, you know, doing really good with it.
Well, good.
You know?
He doesn't drink, which is a bummer. I'm just kidding.
Took a while. Took a lot of smacks upside the head to learn, hey, it's probably better if you didn't do this. Right? You know, like, fuck, when the state of Nevada revokes your driving privileges, yeah, you know you got a drinking problem. Put it that way.
that
the
fucking happened?
State in the country. Yeah, I'm living in Nevada. Yeah, and fucking multiple DUIs and it just huge nightmares. You couldn't imagine. Yeah, so after that last one, it finally sunk in. We're going on 3 years now, and I feel farther and farther away from the place I was in before. Before, I had spent a long time trying not to drink, but really wishing I could, you know? And now I just don't want to. It's like I'm over it, you know? And that doesn't do you any good if you're, I'm not drinking, but I really wish I could. That doesn't do you any good, you know? You gotta learn how to fucking be content without it.
Yeah. Nevada's probably got to be the worst state to try and sober up in.
Believe it or not, there's such an abundance of drunks here that there's like a really solid program, tons of meetings and things like that. And a lot of drunks trying to get sober here, believe it or not. So it's, you know, it has its perks, I guess you could say.
Got it. They're good at it.
Not like back in Indiana where no liquor on Sundays and, you know, it's not helping you in that way. But,
how did they think that's supposed to help anybody? Because when you just stock up on Saturday?
Yeah, but most drunks are irresponsible and they don't think of it. And then they're driving to the Lansing, Illinois border, which was right next to Munster. So it wasn't really a stretch for me. But back in those days. Yeah.
Doesn't Indiana still have dry counties too?
I don't think so. But, it's Bible Belt. So,
they gave us Mike Pence.
Sunday's the Lord's Day. Oh, my God. Yeah.
Thank you, Indiana.
Yeah. Did you know that Danny D would have rough sex with Mike Pence?
Okay. It was a question that was.
I thought he was gay.
I had to pick a politician out of the group they gave me. And I said, fuck it, Mike Pence.
Yeah. All right.
Well, she also said Matt Gaetz.
Ugh.
Oh, you could have picked old Slick Willie if you had a rape fantasy that needed getting fulfilled or something.
No, thank you. I'm good with that.
Old Slick Willie.
I don't think old Slick Willie could do the job.
Come on, 30 Viagras? I think he could.
He's like, just wait, hold on, the pills will work eventually. Hold on.
Wow. I think he's probably got it on a drip.
Viagra?
Yeah, just an IV drip going all the time.
Nah.
So Rob is actually a fan. He saw you live one time, buddy.
Yeah, I saw you back at I think it was 139 in San Jose. It was like 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And you went against Kingsbury, I think, and you beat him.
Yeah, it was a good night.
It was a fun night. It's
very seldomly does everything just go really smoothly in there. That night it did, like unscathed and easy win. Yeah. And then I fucking saw Shogun Henderson have like the fight of the year or something.
That was amazing.
Yes. Like no matter how good my fight was, it wasn't going to top that. So yeah, I felt better about fighting smart and, getting the dub.
My buddy Mike came with me that night, and that was the first time he ever saw Wanderlei Silva. He's like, dude, that guy looks like a shaved gorilla. I was like, don't let him hear you say that. But it kind of fit that night, at least.
He had to go and have all that plastic surgery, though.
Oh, did he since then?
Yeah, he doesn't look like the old Wanderlei, Like, yeah, his face, he had that really gorilla boorish look to him. Not the same Wanderlei face, Oh, well, who would have thought Wanderlei cared about being pretty? Ex-murderer. Yeah. Take out the wrinkles and the scar tissue. Fix my nose. All right.
You're going to have to decapitate you at some point.
Right?
So one thing I want to bring up is you're a wrestler, and when we posted we had you on, apparently Mitch Valentine said you're too scared to get your heart broken by Got Mitch.
Fuck that guy.
Wow.
He's calling you out.
Mitch Valentine. Not sure who that is.
Best response.
Did fight 7 world champions for real, including a couple of the greatest of all time who couldn't really hurt me. So, yeah. Old Mitch.
It's funny that he says that.
Okay.
It was funny that he said that because last time you were in town, actually, I sent a message to him and was like, hey, if you're still talking shit, why don't you come out to the wrestling match? Like, I'll introduce you to everyone. And he never showed up. So who's the bitch now? Mitch Valentine?
He's a pro wrestler?
No.
Well, don't tell him that.
He's not
trying to be.
Sounds like it. That's a wrestling name. Jeez.
No, I think that's his real name. And he goes by the Heartbreak
Bro.
Kid. Oh, he goes by Adonis Bro?
I don't know what that's too many fucking people.
Is he a comedian or something?
Yeah.
Not a funny one.
Oh,
wow.
2 episodes in a row, Danny. Shit.
Jeez.
He knows how I feel. It's fine. I tell him that to his face. I don't give a shit. I don't care.
So was going into wrestling like just a natural transition?
Honestly, I never saw myself fighting in the UFC or doing MMA as a kid. As a kid, I saw myself as fucking Hulk Hogan. You know, like I grew up in the 80s. The UFC didn't even come out to the 90s, you know? So, yeah, my whole childhood, I thought I was going to be a pro wrestler. And then, you know, the 90s came along and hit puberty, and the UFC came on the scene and was wrestling and then doing martial arts. So I just really got caught up in learning martial arts and fell in love with it. And one thing led to another. And all of a sudden, I'm at the end of my career and realized I almost blew my life stream of being a pro wrestler because I was distracted with this MMA bullshit. But hey, I had a company to save, mission accomplished. So now I could focus on my true passion.
So if you didn't get a contract that night, do you think you would have gone after wrestling?
Honestly, when he got the nod in my head, I was getting over it. Like, all right, well, yeah, go back to what I was doing. I was like in this physical therapy school called Muscle Activation, and like I was really into it. That's like kind of what I was going to do. And I was like, all right, cool. I'll go back and finish I had a good life going. And then they said, well, you're getting a contract too. And honestly, the first thing that went through my head was, oh shit, I'm gonna have to fight the toughest dudes in the world now. Like, what did I get myself into? Like, you know, so it's like, oh well, I'll try to make the most of it. You know, I did, but fuck, what a rough job that was. Looking back on it, like, how did I do it that long? Because it was like, oh, I'll do it. It's just a little hobby bucket list, and won a few fights, you know, and won a few more, and like, oh, this TV show, Ultimate Fight, I got chosen to be on it, and I'll probably get my ass kicked, but I'll do my best. And then all of a sudden, I have this like game-changing fight, like saves the company, I get a contract. Now I'm like, fuck, I have to do this now. So I did as best I could, and yeah, I was never like the greatest athlete growing up and all that, and I was really injury prone. So here I am, 10 surgeries, 20 broken bones later, like. Fucking, I was never fast to begin with. Now I'm approaching 40. I can't get out of the way of shots. And like, I never had the best defense. And I'm like, if I keep doing this, I'm going to be fucking Ali in a couple more years, you know? Like, yeah, like really? Like, and I kind of like, I told myself, it's like after that Tito fight, like before training for that fight, I was like, you know, would wake up in so much pain every morning, just thinking, how the hell am I going to make it through today? And I just look at myself, say, this is it. I promise, like, fucking, I'm not going to do this to you anymore. Like, after this, like, this is it. Like, I was really, like, sick of it, to be honest with you. As fun as it was fighting Tito and the promotion of that fight and all that, and just the train where it was like my body was saying, I like to describe it as it was my body's way of saving what's left of my brain. By the fact that my body kind of failed, it like said, no, you can't take this anymore. That saved my brain. Had my body held up a little better like Chuck Liddell's, I would have kept going. I'm the opposite of Chuck Liddell. Like he says, physically, my body feels great. I just can't take a punch the way I used to be. And I'm like, well, I could take a great punch, but my body's like fucking really, it'll really hurt. So, hanging up, and everyone's like, oh, like pro wrestling is not that much better, but it actually is, because the whole point of pro wrestling is collaboration and taking care of your opponent and landing them flat, you know? So like, you know, you give your trust to him, let him lift you up, and trusting that he's going to drop you nice and flat, not hurt you. Whereas MMA is complete opposite. You're trying to stop it, so you lift him up, you're trying to spike him on his head and fuck his neck up and do all that. So, and that way it is dangerous. You're still doing studs, but you get to set the bar of difficulty where you want it, you know? So had I done the pro wrestling in my 20s, I would have broken my neck for sure. I'd be dead. So getting it into my 40s, it was like, oh, no, I don't want to do a backflip off the top rope. No, thank you.
So UFC like, saved your life.
Set my limits.
UFC saved your life, but just fucked you up a little bit.
Did I say that?
No, I mean, that's kind of the impression I get, because you said if you went straight into wrestling, you would have broken your neck.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I probably would have. Yeah. Because even now, I've done stupid stuff and hurt myself a little bit in wrestling. I broke a wrist and things like that, but nothing too major. But yeah, like had I done this when I was younger, definitely I would have taken a lot more risk, you know.
And now you're doing comedy, correct? On top of wrestling for fun? You're doing comedy?
Yes. I am a professional comedian. No, I'm not you have to get paid to be no, I got paid a few times actually. Yeah. So yes, I'm a pro comedian. Look at that. I've probably done about a dozen gigs over a few years now. But like, I'm in no hurry, you know, like I'm gradually getting better. Like I had a bad experience that set me back a little bit. Psychedelic comedy hour took a little too much. Bad trip on stage, bad experience. But I made myself go back like, you know, a few weeks later and do a set, just kind of wash that off. But I just been busy with other stuff, so I haven't had the opportunities. But I did a set a few weeks ago at Tom's psychedelic show and kind of redeemed myself from the previous experience. So, he
said it was really good.
Yeah, and really, I'm like, I kind of do it to myself, put too much pressure on myself. Like, I got to be good. No, you don't. Like, it's okay to suck at something, get the hang of it. You're a white belt. Go fucking batting practice. Go do open mics. Go through the ropes, go do shitty sets and deal with it until you get better. And with that attitude, it just makes it a lot easier. And then also psychologically, when you think, oh, I'm going to go up there and be funny and be a comedian and tell jokes, it makes it harder on yourself. I mean, I'm more of a storyteller. So if I go, I'll just tell my stories and, I could build a few jokes into those stories naturally, then it's not even like I'm doing comedy, you know? And psychologically, it's a totally different story. So, yeah, I'm going to keep swinging the bat, but farting along. I'm in no hurry, and I don't care where I go with it. I don't care if I suck and perform in dive bars. So I don't care, you know? Like, I'll just have fun with it and be free. Like, what I see comedy as is a ticket to freedom, you know? That's kind of the pro wrestling now. It gives me the freedom of going around the world and performing, getting a little adrenaline high and going on vacations without spending money. And comedy can kind of open that same door, you know? And there's something about whether you're out there fighting for a crowd or you're out there pro wrestling for a crowd or you're out there making a crowd laugh with jokes or telling stories, you're kind of doing the same thing. You're taking people who have honored you by giving you their night, you know, like that's their night, you know, it's like, wow. So like the least you could do is fucking try to make the most of their evening for them. So in that way, it's all the same. And when you think of it psychologically like that, I'm just, you know, connecting with people and fucking, you know, entertaining. That's no matter what it is, pro wrestling, fighting, comedy. And, you know, it helps think of things like that. And just, it's all the same, really, when it comes down to it. So,
because that's how.
What's your motivation?
That's how you and Danny met, right? Was that a Tom Bomb show?
Yep.
Yes, that was the night
psychedelic show.
I bombed. That's my bad trip. Yeah, but whatever. Yeah, I had a terrible experience, and whatever. I still lived and did it again a couple weeks later. So yeah.
Well, I mean, doing comedy in general is tough, and then you add acid or mushrooms on that. No, fuck no, dude.
Honestly, mushrooms are really good. Like, I did my best set ever, the first psych comedy show on mushrooms, and that's why I was super confident going in that second one with Tom. Only he didn't have mushrooms; instead, I had some acid, which was a lot stronger, and totally like. You know, like acid can be so strong that like you can't even remember your name or how to speak the English language. That's how like you are up there. So it kind of got to that point. But yeah, the mushrooms really help. Like mushrooms, a little more sociable body buzz, and your memory's a little better. So yeah, that's the way to go. But see, now I just got to be worried that every time I perform, I'm going to need mushrooms, and I don't want to get like that either. So,
Nah, you'll be fine.
it's better. Like, comedy is one of the few jobs you could have and drink on the job. So, the fact that I'm learning to do comedy without alcohol, I think that's going to be key more than anything for me, because it'd be really easy to slip back into drinking because, yeah, it goes hand in hand with it, and you're allowed to. And it's kind of encouraged. So, yeah, but yeah, it's my focus now. If I could be a good comedian, booze-free, boom. Or just be booze-free and do comedy. Fuck if I'm good. Who cares?
So, shit. I gotta mark shit off here. So a little birdie wanted me to ask you about your first set at the Dirty at 12:30.
Yes, first night ever doing comedy, and I actually got paid for the first show. It was at what was that? That strip club, Sophia's. Yeah, so I was at a strip club, and I hosted, so I got to go up, do a few minutes of jokes, and go back and work with it. And I prepared. I had a guy help me write some jokes. He wasn't too good. Material, looking back on it, wasn't that great. So I didn't do too good, to be honest with you. That was the first ever, though, you know? I was a little lost. I rambled my stories. But since I had another gig that same night, I was able to just clean up a lot of my first set, which was like 5 mini sets because I was hosting. So I just cleaned up my material, and I actually did a much better set the second. But still, it was my first night ever doing comedy, so I wasn't great, but much better than the first set. So after getting off, and it was a full room. Let me tell you this, too. It is much easier to do a full room, like a couple hundred people, Dirty at 12:30, right? Than a small room full of mostly comedians.
Yeah.
Right, Danny?
Absolutely.
You say? No.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I had some laughs, and I get off thinking, oh, I'm awesome, you know? And the reality was I did okay, but it was a much easier room because it was full of people who wanted to laugh. So I'm on my high horse, and this guy, after my set, follows me back in the green room and starts talking to me. First, he's all nice and complimentary about, oh, man, you're the man. That fight with Forrest saved the UFC, man, blah, blah, blah. And he's being nice. And then he goes, yeah, but you should stick to fight, man, because your comedy sucks, man.
Oh.
It's like, whoa. I was like, well, you know, I guess this is going to be part of the game, dealing with assholes. So I thanked him and moved on and walked away. And, you know, and then I felt him still talking to me. Hey, no, man. I said, hey, your comedy sucks. And he felt him grabbing me on the shoulder. And I was like, once I felt that, I was just like, yes, thank you, God. So I did a little Steven Seagal wrist lock throw and fucking sent him flying through the air, hit the ground. I spun him around like that. And, you know, he got really scared, and Adam Hunter freaked out and came over, pulled me off him, and was really scared about it. But I was like, I know my rights. Motherfucker touched me, so I had to put him in check. So, you know, I didn't break any laws.
Guy did the equivalent of putting his balls in a pit bull's mouth. Man, just slapping it on the head. Smart.
But see, people don't think like the Aikido, and I grew up doing Taekwondo, Hapkido. Those were my two first martial arts as a kid, in addition to wrestling. And a lot of it's the wrist locks and Steven Seagal type Aikido stuff, and joints pretty much move the same way. So yeah, you're used to watching MMA and the UFC. You don't see that shit in there. Because not that it doesn't work, it's because you're fighting the best in the world. That shit doesn't work on the best in the world that's coming to fight. But fucking Joe Blow at the green room in a comedy club, drunk, it works perfectly on people like that.
Does anybody have anything while I check shit off?
How hot is it right now? Because it looks hella breezy, but I know it's 104 out there. It's fucking disgusting.
No, yeah, it's been 115 the last few days.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's just gross.
Yeah, a little. It's probably around 100 now, though. But yeah, around 3, it's hot as. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you doing this at a public park?
Yeah, I mean,
I was like, wait a minute. I think this. I don't think this. Holy shit!
I thought he was in his garage or something.
Nice.
No.
well, these are my basketball courts back there. So,
That's his backyard.
take my son to play here on this.
You know what, Danny? If you would have told me it's his backyard, I would have believed you.
We would have believed you.
No, yeah, I know. It's in my community. It's really nice.
Yeah.
So do people know you on site, or is it just kind of just people that are into it that, like how often do you stopped on the street?
I mean, yeah, I don't know. It comes and goes. When it rains, it pours. But yeah, it's amazing, like, how many people actually say shit like, you look a lot like Stephan Bonnar. like there's that many dickheads that look like me walking around. It's really, that's what I say. I go, would you go up to Tito Ortiz and say that? Like, probably not. Why do you say it to me?
As long as they don't preface it with, I hope you don't take this wrong.
Maybe there are a lot of Bonnar lookalikes walking around.
No, there's not. The ladies wish there were more guys that were like 6'4", like fucking built as fuck walking around, but there's just not. So, bummer.
Angle. Got a little something there.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys.
So I've noticed that you came out here for wrestling stuff. You think you'll come out here and do comedy ever?
Yeah, why not? That's the beauty of comedy. It's like just searching like maps around here, and it's holy shit, dude. There's literally like I'm in the best city to really like go around and do comedy. It's like, I mean, for us population wise, I think we're like in the 30th in terms of TV markets, like 39th maybe or something. We're pretty low, but for that size city, like proportionately the opportunities to do comedy and the amount of comedy clubs and open mics, man, I'm in a good place. So, but yeah, I'd love to do comedy anywhere. I mean, that's the beauty of comedy. Like you get good at it, and literally, especially me, because I got a recognizable name, like fucking people put me on and let me open for them. And, especially if I just go on road trips and go around and hit the clubs up. I'm sure if I worked hard, I could get gigs and, I mean, that would be nice. It's like the ultimate, I don't know, that'd be an ultimate like dream job where like, say, we do really good with High Tiva and I'm able to, get enough freedom where I could go and do that, I mean, I guess it wouldn't, I guess I could do it without that. Like I don't need too much. It's not like I need to be super rich to go fucking do comedy, Yeah.
None of us are.
All around, put some effort forth. But it's been hard. I've been busy with other shit. So like, that's my joke. It's like, man, if I got fired from this job and like totally everything fell apart and I was so desperate where like I either had to do comedy and succeed at it, maybe that would be good for me. Maybe that would like really make me be good, but I'm not in that situation now. So I just do it here and there. And I haven't been so like I hats off to Danny, like fucking since my terrible comedy set where we met, like between that time and like the next year, I had done 2 sets. She probably done 100. So who's going to get better at comedy? Obviously her. So, like I would like to be there someday where I'm like just so focus driven. I have the kind of time that I could just pour my whole heart into it and go on the road and do fucking a couple sets a week for a year. And, I'm sure if I did that, I'd, get really good. But hey, I'm doing it in my own pace. And the beauty of comedy is you could be old and do it, Like I always bring up George Carlin. Do you remember the young George Carlin? I don't. I only remember him as an old man, And he did comedy till the day he died. So, The pro wrestling, there's a shelf life. That window's closing. I only got a couple of years left. But the comedy window, especially once the pro wrestling window closes, it's going to stay open. So that's why I'm not in too big of a hurry right now.
Would you be willing to stick with the wrestling like behind the scenes, or you just want to be up there and that's it?
Yeah, I don't know. I enjoy the wrestling. It's fun. So yeah, the wrestling, the beauty of that is you never really retire from it. Not like the pro fighting where you actually retire and mean it. Like pro wrestling is one of those things that you just retire over and over. You can have 1,000 retirement matches. Doesn't matter. So you never really, retire. I could always be involved, even old, but by then I'll have my fun with it and I'll be old and I won't want to do it as much. So I'll just want to get up and hold a mic, and not take any bumps. So I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there.
So Ric Flair finally got released.
Yeah, I saw that.
How is that guy still alive?
Exactly. He's on my death pool.
Wow. Guys, and I gotta hand it to him. There's no Ric Flair, no pro wrestler, but from 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000, he's had the longest career of anyone. And you could ask anyone. He fucking, after every show, would go out and drink. He'd be partying 5 nights a week, wrestling 5 nights a week, and never miss a show. Mm-hmm. The guy is a freak of nature. It's amazing. How could, I would have been dead 10 times over if I had Ric Flair's life.
That's sad, Danny.
Resilient.
That's sad, Danny, that you thought it was a fucking rapper.
Ric Flair is a rapper, number one. Number two, maybe he named himself after the wrestler. I don't know.
Probably.
He is a rapper.
You got to look at his promos. He does do the best promos, especially back in the day. He'd be all coked up. The Nature Boy! Woo! Yeah. Oh, what a trip, man. So the beauty of pro wrestling is it's all shits and giggles. You just go out there and could be a total jerk and act out like whatever character you are, really. So it is fun. It is a good release,
Mm-hmm.
Rob, you were going to ask something?
No, it's just the whole not being able to kill him. I don't think he started doing that shit till after he got in a plane crash.
Who, Ric Flair?
Yeah, but I don't know. But yeah, but the whole thing about getting that release, you get the same thing out of comedy.
Yeah.
Because that, and the good thing about comedy is after you, if you kill and you're going home with that high, you don't have to ice yourself after.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then too, if you have a bad night, then you're not.
You don't have to ice yourself after.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
So one thing I was curious about is you don't normally think of UFC fighters as having a sense of humor, but you do comedy. Are there a lot of funny people within UFC?
No, not really. But that's really kind of what made the fight with Forrest as successful as it did. Is it blew everyone's mind? Usually 9 out of 10 fighters, huge ego, all about himself, tattoos their name on their back, all about me, And then it's a really violent and, rough sport like that. And, a lot of anger. Even the intro music for that Ultimate Fighter finale was like, da 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 da, all that, anger, hate music and all that. So that's what everyone expects, and then we have this crazy, bloody, action-packed fight, and then afterwards, we're not like that, really. We're just not projecting the ego, and we like each other, and we're pretty easygoing. It kind of wasn't what everyone expected. It's room for a total curveball, and then also, of course, a great fight. And it had a feel-good moment. The fact that we did like each other and you could feel that brotherly love between us made it this really good feel-good moment that kind of helped bring people together over a really violent sport, And I've heard it from so many people. Like, after that fight, me and my family would get together and order all the UFCs after. And like the message is like, wow, that fight really helped bring people together, more than anything. And, at that time, the MMA was illegal in like 38 states. And, it was like, it had a bad stigma associated to it. You didn't want people to know you watched it. And it was that weird sport that those weird guys do. It became something like that to like what? Why is this illegal in all these states? Like, this doesn't make any sense, dude. These guys are just normal guys like us. And I always like to say, like, that's a night the sport of MMA become our sport, became, people so like, like, I want to be a part of this. And once like everyone like started having that attitude, then just it was a really natural thing for all the laws to change in the states to legalize it, because everyone's walking around saying, this is my sport, how could it be illegal?
Yeah.
Are there any states where they're still holding out?
I know. I think New York was one of the last to go, and yeah, they had like some sort of scandal where like that helped accelerate the process and kind of got that one to fall. But like, yeah, I don't think anymore it's still legal. But
MMA also
pretty much
changed.
It's just like the marijuana. Once the states start dropping, they start falling like dominoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping they'll do the same for hallucinogenics.
Oakland. Oakland and Colorado. You can get
it's
mushrooms.
decriminalized.
All right, Sacramento, you're next.
But MMA also changed the way how you behave yourself in bars, because it used to be you just avoided the big, scary looking guys. Now little fucking guys could just pound the shit out of you because they learned UFC shit. You have no idea.
Yeah, I think people have wised up, and you see a dude with cauliflower ears, you don't have to mess with him.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind, sir.
Yeah.
You little 5'2" guy, fucking. No, I'll back away.
Yeah.
So, does anybody have any more questions before we get to our popular thing?
Oh, I was reading something that said that in the ER after that first fight, Forrest gave you your first Viagra.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
How did that come up?
Wow. I don't know. We were out just hanging out, getting stitches and that. And I don't know. He's like brought up that, he had some, and like, oh, wow, I've always wanted to try one of those. Yeah. Got a spare? Sure. Yeah.
All right.
So you just took it while you were in the ER?
Well, then he gave it to me,
You didn't take it then.
My girl was at yeah, we were there all together. My girl at the time and his buddy Rory, and we all hung out, and she went and got us food, and then hell, hey, here's a Viagra, and enjoy yourself later. Just being a nice guy.
Nick took an expired Viagra last year and got a migraine, and then went to an open mic. And was like, oh, it's because I took an expired Viagra. And I'm like, you're 30-fucking-3. What are you doing taking a Viagra?
Well, I mean, you every now and then you want to give them the good, high, hard one. And, as you get older, those are very few and far between. The ones where like you're 16 and you wake up from a sex dream and it's just the hardest it's ever been. That's the kind of thing you want to give to a woman.
You want to see your face reflected in the helmet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
And yeah, that didn't work out. I just got a bad fucking headache. It was horrible.
Did you at least get the boner?
No.
Oh, poor buddy.
Yeah, no.
Poor buddy.
All right.
I never heard of bunk Viagras. I guess
this was
market for that.
This was 3 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd still work. Remember Wolf of Wall Street with the Quaaludes?
Oh, yeah.
I had that with the mushrooms, actually, before that Tom's Last Sight comedy show. I took like 8 capsules, like 8 grams, waited an hour. I didn't feel anything. Then I took 4 more, and it was like, whoa, it all, like, it was a little much. But I had one of those Wolf of Wall Street moments. It's not working.
Yeah.
I'll take some more.
All right. So, Stephan, have you listened to the podcast before?
No.
Okay. That's what most people say. So you're right on track.
I mean,
Don't feel bad.
I don't know where to go finding them. If I had a link sent to me, I would have probably clicked it and checked it out. You know?
Danny.
Yeah, you're slacking, Danny.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, I literally I don't know, social media, it's hard, but like Instagram is a thing that lets you go Twitter and Facebook at the same time. So like most of the time I just go on and post all three at once, and then like that's it. Like, you know, so yeah, I'm not the best with the interaction.
Hey, I get the guest. You guys can do the marketing. Fuck you guys.
Okay. So we do this very popular thing called Inside the Comic Studio.
Brilliant.
Yes. Before we get into it, though, Stephan, plug your social media, plug any shows you got coming up, whether it be wrestling or comedy. Just plug whatever you want, really.
Okay, I'll just say, follow me, Stephan Bonnar, ANAR, on everything, all the social media, and check out Hytiva, hytiva.com. Follow Team Hytiva, Cannabis on Demand. That's all I could say. Yeah, search, learn, and source your cannabis with Hytiva. So we have the largest video strain review library, and I actually write most of those damn reviews. So I take a lot of pride in that. So who would have thought? Like, what a dream job, you know? Ooh, here's some weed. Go smoke it and write about it. Right? Hey, that. Someone give me an old Milwaukee because it don't get any better than this. But believe it or not, that's added a lot of value to the company, having like that bragging point. We have the largest video strain review library. Like, it's pretty cool. I've literally done hundreds of them.
All right. I'll put a link in the show notes. So if you want to go to Hytiva, just look in the show notes.
Cool.
Danny, what do you got?
You can always follow me at Rad Chick Forever on whatever. I am. You got me the wrong time. I'm going to the Bay Area next week, and then the week after that I'll be in Reno, and then I'll be back in Sac. So you can go on my page, find me. I'm doing a lot of shit.
All right. Nice. Rob.
My side project, Stand Up Dads Podcast. Do that with my buddy Mike. We talk about parenting and dick jokes. I have no idea what we're talking about on the next one, but new episodes come out every Sunday.
Yeah, follow me on Twitter at TheBigNickJ. Also, check out our merch. We have awesome merch, 4 faces. Apparently, the gag on this looks like sperm, so somebody said I should probably look at that.
You get that every time.
So, Stephan, we have shirts, and it's kind of like, I don't know if you can see my background. It's basically dripping spray paint. And apparently when it's white, it looks like sperm.
Cool.
Which I didn't know. So I may have to look at that. But we have merch, and you can look like you're covered in jizz. So
the letters look like sperm.
Yeah.
I guess I can see that.
Those are dripping.
Yeah, it's.
Oh, yes. I should have said Next Level Pro Wrestling, August 28th. I'll be back in Sacramento defending my title.
Nice.
Why don't you come out, Mitch Valentine?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're calling you out, bitch.
See, it looks all jizzy.
Ew, that's our merch.
Yeah.
I really don't like that drawing of my face. There's so many better ones.
They're
That's
really.
what you guys went with.
That's why we chose it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
No, I'm going to use the one Mike drew of you, which you seem to like. I just got to wait for Rob to get his beard filled in, apparently.
Excuse me?
Remember you said, Mike, you want Mike to fill in your beard a little bit more because it's all patchy on the drawing?
All right.
It's taking him that long to fix?
Yeah, he probably fucking
Your
forgot.
best friend talking.
All righty. So, inside the comic studio, we ask all comedians the same 5 questions. So the first question is first joke that landed well.
My first joke that landed well? Oh, geez. Man. Wow.
He was high when it happened.
Yeah. See, I'm having one of those moments like I did on acid where I forget all my jokes. I can't even think of one joke of mine.
Would you like us to come back to it?
I think he wants you to skip it.
I remember a joke that didn't do too well.
Even better.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Fucking despair. Yes. All right. I'll do a condensed version. So I tie it into with the DUI TMZ. I tie it into talk about the forest fight. 10 million people tuned into that, set records, changed the sport. But hey, that's nothing. More people saw my DUI. So TMZ, I go into that spiel, and then I talk about having to go into treatment after that program, and we had an art therapy class, and the assignment was to draw how you feel emotionally. Oh, this isn't. See, I fucked it all up. That was the original joke. Then I retold it in a way that, Ian McCall, Uncle Creepy, right, does these psychedelic healing sessions with people, right? Have you heard about this?
Mm-mm.
These therapy sessions with psychedelics. So that's what he was saying. That was the new joke I tied in, that he was doing one of these psychedelic healing sessions, and come on over for some healing, brother. But you got to dress up like your emotions. Oh, God, I got to dress up like my emotions. Shit, what are you going to be? He's like, well, I've had a problem with jealousy, so I'm going to get a little green Alfie looking outfit. I'm going to be envy. I got the letter NV on my shirt. And, oh, yeah, that's my emotion. Oh, what am I going to be? So I'm like, fuck it. Just got a DUI that made TMZ. I'm fucking in a bunch of trouble. Like, my life's in the fucking shits right now. I got it. So ding dong. He opens the door, and there I am, fucking naked with a boner and my dick stuck in a pear. Like, what the fuck's this? I go, I got a DUI that made TMZ. I'm fucking despair.
Oh, man.
All right, Steph, you got to stop moving around. You got to stay still. It's very distracting, you guys.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Wow. Danny's laying down the law.
I know. That takes a lot. All right.
He's usually the one.
I didn't want to have to go in the whole joke, but
That was very good.
I fucking liked it.
You're fucking despair.
All right. Next question is, favorite thing about your local comedy scene?
that I could bomb at a new place every night for 3 weeks straight and not be at the same place. Boom.
All right. Now, the exact opposite. One thing you dislike and would like to see changed.
Honestly, I'm liking where comedy is. I'm like, what I'm hearing from most comedians is that it's a bad time to do comedy because, you know, everyone with this woke culture is too afraid of offending people. So it's hard. And I'm like, fuck yeah, that'll, you know, more open doorways for us, you know, for us going for it, who aren't afraid of pissing people off and offending people. So that's probably it. Like, you hear that, like, the culture's really uptight and it's hard to make fun of people the way we used to. But hey, I think that sucks, but also that we could, you know, as like, you know, aspiring comedians could use that to their advantage.
All right. Next question is favorite local comedian.
Local. Oh boy. There's a lot of one here. I guess, I don't know. I like Butch Bradley. He's a nice dude. Adam Hunter. He's my buddy. I like him, but he's actually not local. I mean, who's local? Tom Bombs. My buddy's cool. Yeah. I don't know. I don't like, you know, I guess I should watch a little more than I do, you know. Just go to
Butch Bradley was a great pick.
Oh, thank you. All right. Butch.
Yeah.
All right. Last question. Advice to new comedians.
The best advice I got was from a student of mine at Venom Gym. he's teaching there, and he's, oh, you're doing comedy. It's when I first started. I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I did comedy out in New York for 15 years. Like, wow, fucking A. He's like, yeah, I came up with Adam Hundra. I know him. Like, he, is like really experienced, 15 years. I'm, oh, great. I got a gig coming up next week. What advice could you give me? He's like, honestly, just go in there and suck. Like, it's going to take you a few years to get the hang of it. So, yeah, you're going to suck for a few years and you're going to have bad sets, and you just got to learn to deal with it and get over it and go up there again. And I was like, well, you know what? That's actually some really good advice. It took a lot of the pressure off, because my dumbass first night ever doing comedy, there's me recording it and posting it on my social media. Like, it's like, come on, like, dumb. Yeah, Bonner's not that good at comedy. Like, yeah, fucking light bulb, dummy. So, but now I know. So I've been doing sets. I don't post it. I don't get all obsessed about it. I don't, I just go and do it and let it go and get over it. If I sucked, let it go. If I did good, let it go. Don't hold on to it either. That's what fighting told you. You got to let go of the losses and not hold on to them, but the wins as well. Sometimes you get caught up holding on to those a little too long.
And just like anything else, I'm sure the UFC, you had to like practice and go to training and train. Like with comedy, that's what open mics are. You're not supposed to go in there and, you're not supposed to ever like kill at an open mic. You're supposed to be working on new shit because that's your playground. Wow.
All right.
Maybe you don't go to the ER if you have a shit night on stage.
You're not supposed to kill at an open mic.
You're not.
Even better.
That's Danny D's advice to new comedians.
Yeah, how did you do at that open mic, Stephan? Did you kill? No, you're not supposed to.
That's right. That's right. You tell them that. You refer them to me if they have an issue. I'll take care of them.
All right.
All right, so that is it. I do have a couple random topics. Random video that has to deal with a wrestler. I don't know if you guys want to watch that.
Sure.
All right. So first of all, I'm sure Stephan knows, Rob knows. Danny, do you know who Yokozuna was? No. Okay. So
yeah, the WWE. Yeah.
Yeah. So Yokozuna has this this move called the Bonsai.
I have heard of that move.
Okay.
The next pro wrestling thing at the match I was at.
Okay. So let me make it to where it's video. So I came across this on Facebook, and this looked like it hurt. This is a real, pretty much, Yokozuna Bonsai.
Nope.
So,
oh my God.
That woman again has to be at least 350. This girl who weighs probably 110 laying on the ground, that had to break ribs.
Broke her sternum.
Well, here,
Why would she do that?
Let's make it even bigger.
Why the fuck would she do that?
I don't know. Now,
she doesn't even look awake. Like, the lady on the floor doesn't even look like she's present. Like, she's been drugged.
Oh, God.
They've kidnapped her, and this is what they're doing to her.
So one thing Rob and I are kind of going back and forth on, you can hear like an audible, loud sort of squeak.
Yeah.
I think it's that chick's soul just like fucking escaping, just like.
And why does she have a blindfold on? If she is the participant in this, why is there a blindfold on her? I have a lot of questions. Where'd you get this from?
Well, Facebook, good old Facebook. They wouldn't post.
Let's see it again.
All right, now listen for the sound because Rob thinks it's a fart. I think it's that chick just giving up on life.
Nope.
Okay, stop it there.
Nope.
Because pause it where there is no sound coming out of her because her entire face is buried in that ass.
Oh, look at that.
That has to be a fart.
No, it's not a fart. When she gets up, I think it's like her sternum. Like she just got like winded and now she's like, ugh.
There's nothing coming out of there. That is a seal. There is her face is hermetically sealed to her ass.
Well,
that is what you got from watching this video is she farted at the end.
Okay. I'm not proud of this, but I've seen enough fart porn to know.
What?
that there is a thing.
Rob. Fart porn?
Yeah, where they're just blasting each other's faces, and they have this whole thing where it's just an open mouth, and it sounds like Donald Duck. And that's kind of what it sounded like.
All right, and then the last video I have, I think, I mean, it went viral, so I'm sure some of you saw it. Let me pull it up first.
So I'm a big girl, but you guys don't tell Bomb, you know how like skinny he is? He has scoliosis, and he's always like, walk on my back. And I'm like, dude, I'm going to fucking kill you. But I walk on his back all the time. But like, I don't plop down on him. Like, that's a fucking, that's a lot. That poor girl, she did not sign up for that.
No, nobody.
Well, Stephan, what'd you think? Did you think it was a fart, or did you think it was that chick just like, ugh?
I mean, honestly, it's you think something like that would kill her, you know? Hey, yeah, it came up at her neck too, and it's like, it could have popped the vertebrae. Like, yeah, like fuck.
Do you think the big girl farted, or do you think the little girl farted?
I don't know. I didn't catch any fart. I fucking saw a poor girl die, it looked like.
Yeah, we just watched a snuff film.
Blindfolded, and then boom.
We had no idea.
Neck, like, fuck.
And I thought I was weird with my followers.
All right, and then so at Lollapalooza, Megan Thee Stallion did a song, and there was a ASL person, the sign language interpreter. And this video is it's funny, but it's kind of hot.
When I'm trying to wet it, I don't want to back. I don't want to stick. I want to go. I want to gag. I want to choke. I want you to. Taking this fire. When I need the sun, it's going to beer. When I'm trying to wet it.
Just the gag?
I love that. And it looks like she's splashing like something too. Like
that right there. Just
facial.
Why would they have an ASL person at the fucking like? Can you imagine preparing for that? Like, okay, all right, you got to do WAP. Okay, like what?
Deaf people like a wet ass pussy.
Okay. I'm not gonna say something mean, so I'm just not gonna say anything.
No, say it.
What is a deaf person doing at a fucking concert? They can't hear it.
They can feel it.
Well, okay. Got me there.
My cousin was married to the NFL's only deaf cheerleader for years, and she had to feel the music to keep up with everyone.
Okay, but you can
still enjoy it.
I guess. All right. Okay. That's why I said I wasn't going to say anything.
They're not allowed to go to a show?
I'm not getting involved in anything that has to do with this topic. I'm
a deaf person at a comedy show might be rough.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. How about we get a fucking signer at a comedy show?
Well, let me see if I can find it.
Two people.
You make me laugh with your hands. You tell a joke and then the fricker doesn't sign it right. You totally fucked my delivery up with your sign there.
Aziz Ansari does a bit about how he had a sign language person, an interpreter at one of his shows. And I guess one of his jokes had the phrase jizz all over. And he kept saying it over and over again just to watch her keep doing the sign. I didn't see this. Yeah, pretty much.
That's what it looked like she was doing with the
yeah. It looked like she was blowing a horse. I mean, it was kind of the two hand.
Yeah.
What's wrong, Nick?
That's crazy.
I'm trying to find, because there's one where Robin Williams is doing, I believe it's a USO show, and he has a sign language person, and he actually makes the sign language person like, he just notices it, and he's just like balls, dick, blowjob.
I would too. I would totally would.
So I'm trying to see if I can find it.
I just say WAP over and over and over again, and I just be like, well, there you go.
You know, and you're there talking about like, why would an ASL person, you know, be at that show? I'm just looking at it like, why don't more ASL people look like this chick?
I do. I know a lot of ASL people that are super hot, like 4 in this city.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is getting creepy, probably.
I'm sending you a link. It might be it.
Is your wife home with you, Nick, or is she at work?
No, she's right here.
Oh, I haven't seen her in days. I thought you murdered her.
No.
She was the girl under the Yokozuna.
I couldn't even imagine, like, someone's like, oh, look, we're going to do this for fun. And record. Like, what? But she probably
Yeah, I don't even want to think about it.
All right, so
the clip.
It's part of the clip. It's not the best quality, but yeah, this is it.
Oh, how cool is that? Blow me. Thank you.
Let's see.
Thank you. What a great fucking night. Wow. This is going to be like Deliverance with Helen Keller. This is
Oh my God, this is fucking
a
great.
wonderful idea. I'll give you a break right now because there's more shit coming. Good luck.
Oh, yeah, that's not the other clip. Because, yeah, there's one where he's just like, blowjob, and he just starts saying shit over and over.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I got to see him right before he died, probably, like, I don't know, within that year. But I was a big fan of his when he was younger.
No.
And I must say, his younger stuff, I think, was better. But, like, he was a little wilder back then.
Yeah, he was on
remember
coke.
him going, he's going, doing, and he'd say it too. He'd run backstage and he'd come back, say, free cocaine. Fucking awesome.
Did we have a guest talking about the Robin Williams light?
No.
Oh, yeah, we did. I don't remember what guest it was, but yeah.
Yeah. But like if Robin was in the audience, they would let you know, hey, he's here. And apparently he was known for borrowing material. So
yeah,
that sucks. It's too bad because I really, I think he was probably funny enough on his own.
I don't know. In his young stuff, he would just fucking like, you could tell he was just, going off the top of his head and it wasn't too prepared. And that way I was really amazed with the shit that like, dude, he's just like shooting from the hip here and it's fucking hilarious. How does he do this?
It's because he's naturally funny, Yeah. He's like one of those naturally, like, and he's a quick thinker. But I think a lot of comics have the same wavelength. Like, we all may think of, like, we all may write a joke for that lady that video we just saw, but like, just because we write a joke that has the same situation doesn't mean I stole your fucking joke. It just means we're thinking the same,
Yeah, it's true. You could have a similar joke with two completely different deliveries,
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, there has to be, with as many comedians, there has to be parallel thinking.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there totally is. Totally. And if you spend as much time as, most comics do in bars and open mics and watching comedy and all this other shit, like, it's bound to happen.
Yeah, it's like Simpsons did it, like on South Park. How do you make something that the Simpsons hadn't done before? That's like pro wrestling too. Every little angle in pro wrestling has already been done,
Oh, yeah.
Like
50 times.
It's already been done. Yeah. So nothing's original.
Who's your favorite pro wrestler?
I really liked Brian Pillman. More just his persona. He was a loose cannon, so everyone really thought he was nuts, and he was playing a lot of the wrestlers. Like, they didn't know, is this guy crazy? Is he really fucking nuts? What's wrong with him? So I just like the extent, like, which he took, like, the psychological kind of warfare to the next level. And it's pro wrestling. Like, he was working everyone, man, and everyone thought he was nuts and in loose cannon, and he really was kind of nuts. That's the thing, like, in pro wrestling, you get so into your character, and your character's already a lot of what you naturally are anyway, just amplified. So I could see that kind of trap he got in, and like having to be this crazy persona that he created because everyone thinks he's nuts. And I remember feeling like that a little bit with American Psycho, and thank God I'm kind of over that now, so.
Yeah.
By the way, for the audience, American Psycho is his wrestling name.
No, it was his UFC name, right?
Was it UFC?
Yeah, his UFC name, yeah.
Oh.
You don't want UFC at all, do you?
It's my nickname. If I'm the UFC, or I'm known as the American Psycho, like my whole fighting career. does it really make sense to go into pro wrestling and be something else? Like, you know,
Yeah.
everyone knows me as American Psycho, and I mean, come on, what a better kind of nickname for pro wrestling than that?
I think the Macho Man had the best promos, though, by far.
I liked, you see the ones he did with Hulk Hogan about fighting them for charity. Come on, Hulk, you don't care about the little kiddies. Come on, let's do it for the kids, you know. And he's like, yeah, he was something else. But his whole family, like he came from a wrestling family, you know, his dad kind of brought him up and his brother Lanny Poffo. So, yeah, you really get to see like a lot of these in the wrestling world, just, you know, like some of these guys are like third, fourth generational wrestlers, you know. I couldn't imagine that growing up. Like if my old man was a wrestler and being raised in wrestling, it just, you know, I probably wouldn't have liked the whole reason the MMA and all that was so fun because, like, you know, it was like that. It was illegal. It was like the thing you normally get arrested for. It was like something my parents didn't want me to do. You know, that's what I wanted to do more. Like, couldn't imagine my parents were taking me to fight class and you have to like, ew, yuck, like jam it down my throat.
All right. Does anybody have anything else? No? Well, Stephan, thank you for coming on. We have got huge traction on Twitter about this. People are so stoked to hear about not only your UFC, but your comedy. So that'll be interesting.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for having me on. And send me some links. I'll check out the show a little more.
Yeah, get on it, Danny.
I will.
All right, take it easy, guys.
I'm in a podcast phase, so let's take advantage of it. I'm really starting to dig podcasts. Awesome.
Right,
thanks, everyone. August 28th, Sacramento, Next Level Pro Wrestling.
All right, later.
All right. Bye.
Bye.